I just got back from my end of year evaluation, and my assistant principal gave me my new assignment for next year. I'm going to be teaching AP Physics with calculus. I am one part terrified and one part excited. Hey, welcome to the Reach Every Student podcast with me, your host, John Bergman. You see, my last calculus class was 42 years ago, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I could do this. And honestly, when I took that class in college, I struggled a bit. Yeah, I struggled. But you know what? I'm a learner and I'm excited about learning something new. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to analog roots. I've got my textbook, boom, big physics textbook, and I'm going to do all the problems. One thing I found when I'm teaching something that I'm a little bit uncomfortable with is that I'm going to do all the assignments that I assign the kids. And so I'm going to be close to the learning. And so what I've done in the past is I just take one of these composition books and I fill it out. And I just say, all right, question number 17, question number 18. I got to make sure I understand it. And I work through the problems just as if I'm a student in the class. And so I'm excited and I'm terrified. So I've got some work to do this summer, and I'm gonna have to bone up on my calculus physicsy stuff. Wow. Uh, it's the end of the year, and I'm not going to spend my whole summer being a physics nerd, by the way. I think it's important that we each take time. Today is the last day. My students just took their final this morning, and I'm essentially done. I'm working on a presentation for next week. I'm going to be going to Brazil. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't know if you're like me, but I'm exhausted. This has been a marathon to the end, and I'm mentally exhausted trying to put forth the creative energy. I discovered this morning that, or this afternoon, I guess it was, that one of my students made a poor choice from an academic integrity situation on his test, and it breaks my heart because here's a kid that I really care about, and he made a bad choice this morning. It's a hassle to deal with, but more importantly, it's going to be, honestly, this is going to be good. I see this as an opportunity for this young man to grow and to learn about choices. And sometimes you make bad choices. I've made bad choices. I'm sure you have. And yeah, so that really kind of turned my mood sour a couple of hours ago, as that sort of was revealed to me what happened. And yeah, so I'm excited about the next school year, but I also know that I need a reset. And before I do the reset, I don't know if you're like me, but I've got a lot to do. Tying up the school year behind me, the room is still kind of a mess. I've got to clean this bugger up. I've got a lot of work to do to get ready for the end of the school year. There's forms I have to fill out. And another big project, I mentioned I'm headed to Brazil. The largest medical school in Brazil has invited me, crazy me, right, to speak to a bunch of medical professionals or doctors, like people who train doctors and nurses and dentists and physiotherapists and all that kind of stuff, because they're interested in the MasteryFlip model. They're interested in learning how to teach in the age of AI. And so I guess my expertise and the opportunities that I get to work here in room 229 is going to play a role in hopefully their future. So I'm looking forward to that, but getting ready for that. See, the problem with, I used to do presentations about flip learning, and flip learning was somewhat stagnant for a long time, but AI is not at all stagnant. It's the most fastest growing thing in the history of the world. And so I did a presentation in February in San Francisco, and that was great, but I have to change things up because it's May, and those few months, so much has changed. So I'm looking forward to that, but I have a lot of work to get that done. So I'll be there all next week. The podcast will continue. I plan to make a recording while I'm in Brazil, and we'll see I have no idea what I'll be talking about, but probably some of my observations about where people are in medical education and at the university level. I know most of you are K-12 listeners and watchers. So yeah. And after I get back, my plan is actually to spend a week with my wonderful wife, who's the nurse here at the school. What an amazing wife I married up. And then I'm headed off for what I'm calling my analog reset. It's a really cool opportunity. Some of you may not know, but I'm a cyclist. I love to ride bikes, like long distance endurance cycling. I used to do Ironman triathlons, and I've signed up for this crazy ride. It's 750 miles over 16 days. It's through an organization called the Fuller Center for Housing. And the Fuller Center is similar to, say, the Habitat for Humanity, and it's a fundraiser. It's kind of like, I like to explain, it's like MS 150 on steroids. And I had to raise some money for this, and some amazing people donated money to this cause. We'll have 2 build days, as they like to call them. We'll stop, and people who struggle with housing, and we're going to do some work. I'll have a hammer and nails or whatever, or paintbrush or whatever they give me. And so I'll be doing that for a couple of the days, and we're going to ride from Salt Lake City to the Grand Canyon through some amazingly scenic country. And one thing that really attracted to me to this organization is it's also, they really encourage people to live during these 17 days simply. I'm limited to a 40-pound bag and a bicycle, and that's it. And they really discourage the use of devices. And so I really see this as an opportunity for me to just take an analog reset and just boom, I need this time away. And so maybe that's too. Maybe you need to get away. So you're a teacher and you're approaching your summer vacation, at least you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and I would really encourage you to find a way to just turn things off and be with your family, your kids, your spouses, your significant others, whatever it might be, your parents. I would really just, I've needed this, and I haven't always done this very well. I am a go, go, go person, and I have needed this so much in my own life. So I'm looking forward to this, and I hope you would join me in that to some degree and find that way. I mean, don't listen to the podcast if that's what you need to do to get that analog reset. But once I get back from that, I'm going to be probably full bore starting to work on this AP Physics. That'll be my big goal this summer, is to learn the stuff that I didn't learn when I was in college, or to learn it that I kind of learned it, but it was 40 years ago. So I've got a lot of things to do. I'll be taking an AP Institute. We're also taking a time, speaking of family, we're going to take a time to go visit our grown children. Our grown children live, we're in Houston, Texas, and they're up in Wisconsin and Indiana. Play with the grandson and visit with my 2 daughters, who one is married, one is not. They teach at rival high schools. That's kind of fun. And yeah, so we're really looking forward to the summer. It's going to probably fly by quickly, but I'm ready for it. I am so ready to get this started. And there's still the element of grief, right? I woke up crazy early this morning, like crazy early, like 3 a.m. And my mind was racing, and it's always that time of year, and I said this in the last podcast, but this time of year is always hard for me because it's hard to say goodbye. It's hard to say it's over. And even as I said literally goodbye to my students right before their finals at our school, our colleagues will proctor the finals for other classes. So all of the science finals were this morning. And then tomorrow morning, all the math finals are, and I will proctor tests for my math colleagues, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm recording this, by the way, on Wednesday. You won't get this till next week, so it'll all be over, and I'll be in Brazil by then. But I had to say goodbye to some students. And then just in 2 days from now, I'll be at our graduation ceremony, and I'll be saying goodbye to some students. And yeah, it's always good and hard. I was reflecting in my journal this morning with a student came by, a student that he came and said this. He said, "Mr. Bergman, you've been the best teacher I've ever had. And you've made such an impact on my life." And it was deeply meaningful. But as I reflected, I didn't handle that very well. It was like, yeah. And when the next student came by, I did something, I think I did it much better. And he came by and handed me a letter. And, I teach at a Christian school, and this is totally appropriate. I said, "Hey, young man, can I just pray for you?" He's off to college. And it was just a very sweet time to bless him in that way. And I should have done that with the other students, but I guess I've learned. And lastly, I want to remind you that the MasteryFlip certification program, so many of you have signed up, it's been so cool, is open until this Friday for at least the discount, and then it reverts to the main price. But I would encourage you, if you are concerned about AI and how to teach in the world of AI, that you sign up. Yeah, so go to reacheverystudent.com and you'll find the appropriate link there. So yeah, it's been such a good year. I am just in a great place, and things will continue to change, right? We are living in the age of AI where the pace of change is unbelievable. Now, go out and reach every student. Now, make sure also that once you get on your summer break that you do take a break. So maybe I should change it over the summer, reach all your kids, maybe your own kids, or reach your spouse, or whatever it might be, so that you can come back in the fall and reach every student. Hey, John Bergman out.